What is going on, y'all? This is Travis from Chasing Anthems, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I had this thought the other day that if I was stranded somewhere and all I had was my iPod Shuffle, something very small. Most of you guys probably don't even know what iPod Shuffle is, but let's just walk down this road together, okay? Maybe it's your phone, maybe it's some other electronic device that you're listening to music, but you're only limited to 10 artists, unlimited songs, but only 10 artists can fit on this device. We're limited to it. And so what would those 10 artists be? You're stuck on a deserted island. There's no sign of getting off there anytime soon. What is going to be your go-to playlist? Hey, with that being said, if you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hit the bell to be notified of future videos, like, comment, share, do all that kind of good stuff. And when you're done, go check out some of my original music. But before then, I want to hear not only what I have to think, but let me know in the comments below what would be your top 10 choice if you were stuck on a deserted island. Now, with all that being said, now I'm going to give you my 10 here real quick, and you can beat me up in the comments all you want. I'm going to give you my justification as to why I picked these 10 artists. However, I'm not trying to make a claim that this is the greatest bands. I'm not trying to say they're the most inspirational or the, guitar virtuosos of the world and there's nobody better than them. All I'm saying is these are the 10 that I would be rocking if I was all by myself, stuck in the middle of nowhere, just a me and my lonesome. Think of me as Tom Hanks on the island with, what was the friend's name? Philip or something like that. The volleyball. I don't think that was the name, but you know what I'm talking about. All right, with that being said, coming in at number 10, I'm going to actually have to go with The Doors. The Doors, what really got me into him was the Val Kilmer movie when he played Jim Morrison. That was kind of inspirational movie when I was just coming up and starting to write music. And Jim Morrison had a very strange, weird way of writing and expressing his music. But what it did for me was it really got me outside of my own head as far as writing music goes. And it got me to start letting go of trying to be within a box and trying to create a song that I think other people would like and write songs that I would like and write more poetically and just kind of expand where my writing can go. Now, granted, he did that with a lot of drugs and a lot of LSD and other things like that, which I don't partake in. But from a writing perspective, I'd have to say I'd go with The Doors. Being on an island would be kind of strange anyways, and so I think you'd have to have some strange music to accompany it. Okay, next, number 9 would have to be Bob Marley. If I'm on the island and I'm feeling that island vibe, I'm going to have to go with a little reggae music, and nothing is better than my boy Bob Marley, who was such an influential songwriter, performer, really, in my opinion, kind of connected a lot of people. So not only would it have that islandy vibe, but it would definitely be positive and uplifting and, something I could definitely have on repeat for quite some time. All right, coming at number 8, my favorite current country artist right now who is just crushing it in all the billboards. It seems like everything this guy touches, writes, co-writes, whatever, is fire. That's Morgan Wallen. Love him or hate him, the guy is a hit maker. I had the the blessing to see him live. Just happened to walk into a bar and I got to see him perform. And man, that place was electric. It was like, no other concert I've seen, and it was in a small bar, which was pretty sweet. But yeah, man, I jam Morgan Wallen, all day long on the island, having a good time, and definitely get down with his tunes. All right, number 7, Whiskey Myers. Whiskey Myers is definitely one of my newer favorite bands, even though they've been around for a long time. I like to listen to me, they're storytelling songs. They're folky, they're country, they're Americana. They tell songs about pain and trials and whatever they were going through, and I think they just have a really unique way of writing music, and it's definitely been on my top 10 playlist these days, and I would take it on the island with me when I'm feeling a little down and out. Number 6, probably the greatest country artist of all time, in my opinion, at least in the last 50 years, would have to be George Strait. I'm actually, I think, wearing a George Strait shirt right now. even though George doesn't write all his own songs, George has a way of taking an average song and making it above average, out there, in my opinion. Dude's a real cowboy. He writes real songs. He sings real songs. He is just genuine as genuine can be. It's not complicated by any means. It's simple. It's right to the point, and it cuts to the heart of what country music's all about, in my opinion. Jimi Hendrix. I think this was one I'd argue I think needs to be on everybody's top 10 list, especially if you're a guitarist. If I'm out there on an island and I'm by myself, hopefully I got my guitar, because if I got my guitar, I'm going to have all the time in the world to be learning new things. And if you want to learn new things, you got to listen to people that are going to get you outside of your box. And Jimmy is definitely going to do that. If there are lanes, right, where you feel conformed to a specific structure, listening to Jimi Hendrix will get you out of that. He explored so many different avenues of how the guitar is played and how it should be played, maybe how it shouldn't be played, I don't know, but he just had such an amazing skill set and freedom on the guitar that I think so many other people get kind of stuck in a box and have a hard time getting out of. You go to your go-to lick because it's safe. I don't think Jimmy ever played it safe, which means that it wasn't always perfect, but he definitely broke the boundaries of guitar playing as we know it, for sure. All right, coming in at number 4. Probably, if you would have asked me 10 years ago and even earlier, my favorite band of all time, ever since I was very, very young, would have to be the Red Hot Chili Peppers. The Red Hot Chili Peppers, to me, introduced this fusion of different genres in creating their own sounds. They took funk, they took punk, they took rock, they took all sorts of different, this melting pot, and they put it together to create their own style of music. Granted, I'm more impartial to the early stuff. I think later on, things got, it's a little mellower, a little softer, a little less Chili Pepper-esque. But the early stuff, Uplift Mofo, Party Plan, Mother's Milk, all that stuff where it was just raw. It felt like Southern California, just a melting pot of cultures and styles and music, and it really comes through in their music. So I'd have to take the old Chili Peppers any day on my top 10. Next would be Sublime. Sublime, and that's coming, if you've been following our channel, yes, I am a country artist and I perform in that lane these days in the last couple years. But, I'm a California guy, and growing up in California, the Sublime created a California vibe, right? Similar to what I was saying about the Chili Peppers, that they took different styles. Sublime took a little of that beach culture, the island culture, fused with punk and other genres, and made their own sound. And now there's a whole new space for that, right? Cali vibe or Cali reggae or whatever you want to call it. You got a whole bunch of other bands that have really taken that torch that Bradley and they started and just ran with it, and has exploded to its own space. Which has been really unique and really special. I think if you're from California and if you've lived near the beach by any means, you've probably connected with that sound at some point in your life. So I'd have to go with Sublime. The second one on my list, getting close to the first, would have to be Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash, I can relate to in so many different ways. This guy played gospel, he played country, he played blues. He wasn't the greatest guitarist, and he didn't have the greatest vocals in the world, but through his songwriting and through his consistency, he was able to transcend through different genres, different decades, and connect so many people by telling their stories through his songs. And I think as a songwriter, that's something that we're all striving to do, right? To create your own sound, be able to be creative in multiple spaces, and be able to connect with as many artists and as many fans as he possibly can. And Johnny Cash probably did that hands down more than any other artist I can think of for a longer period of time. I think there's a lot of artists that broke a lot of barriers, and we could have a whole other discussion on that. But to do it as long as he did in as many different spaces as he did, and never really compromising or changing his style, even all the way up to the end, covering 9 Inch Nails. And he did things his way. And when you heard it, you knew it was him. There was no question about it. And that's what makes, in my opinion, Johnny Cash one of the greatest artists, and definitely on my top 10. Number one, and this is probably going to be very cliche. I'm probably going to get a little heat for this one, but I don't think you could deny that the number one artist on my list is going to be the Beatles. The Beatles, in the short period of time, wrote more hits than, I don't know the actual statistics out there, but it's phenomenal how much was done in a short period of time, and to change throughout that time, to evolve over a short period, and then beyond that in their own individual careers. Shoot, you got Paul McCartney. I almost said John. I did say John. Paul McCartney, and you got Ringo still out there doing it, just crushing it, writing stuff, and still paying tribute to their older tunes. Those guys are just so next level, and I think beyond, the majority or the overwhelming amount of artists out there. Once again, not comparing artist to artist. I'm just saying this is what would be on my list, and it would be unimaginable to not have them on my personal playlist. Hey, with that being said, who cares what I think? What is on your list? Let me know in the comments what would be the top 10 artists that if you were stuck on a desert island that you would be rocking, that's going to get you through however long that time period is. Hey, with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys showing us love and support. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hit the bell to be notified of future videos. Like, comment, share, do the kind of good stuff, and then go check out original stuff. We got links in the description box below. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.